Welcome back to Ridezone Bikes, the place where we break down the machines that move us, both literally and emotionally. Today we're talking about one of the most exciting new arrivals of the year, the 2025 Suzuki GS400 Neo Retro. Now, this is a bike that doesn't just roll into showrooms, it rolls into conversations, into memories, and into the hearts of riders who crave that perfect balance between heritage and modern reliability. At first glance you can tell it's a deliberate throwback, with those clean lines, the round headlamp, the tank with subtle knee indents, and just the right amount of chrome and brushed metal to remind you of Suzuki's GS lineage from decades ago. But spend more than a minute with it and you'll also realize that this is no museum piece. This is a machine designed to live in 2025, with modern technology under the skin and a package that makes sense for daily riding, weekend escapes, and even light touring if you so choose. Let's talk about what you get when you throw a leg over the GS400 Neo Retro. Powering it is a modern 4-stroke parallel twin, liquid-cooled, with fuel injection delivering smooth, predictable throttle response. Unlike the old carbureted GS bikes that sometimes required coaxing on cold mornings, this one fires up eagerly every time, idles steadily, and pulls cleanly through the rev range. With around 400 cubic centimeters of displacement, it's not pretending to be a superbike, but it delivers the kind of usable mid-range torque that most real-world riders actually want. Commuting through traffic, you can roll on from low RPM without constant downshifting, and out on the highway you've got enough in reserve to cruise at speed and overtake when you need to. It's a smooth, approachable engine with enough character to make you smile. And that is the sweet spot for a bike like this. The chassis continues that balance between old and new. Suzuki has gone with a steel frame that keeps the retro aesthetic intact, but the geometry and weight distribution have been tuned for stability and agility. Suspension is handled by a telescopic fork up front and twin shocks at the rear, which might sound old school, but the damping and adjustability have been modernized so that you get a comfortable yet controlled ride. Over city potholes or uneven tarmac the bike doesn't beat you up, yet when you head out onto winding roads it holds a line confidently and inspires you to push just a little harder. Braking is handled by disc brakes at both ends with ABS as standard, which is a welcome reassurance for riders at all skill levels. The bite is strong without being grabby, the feel at the lever is progressive, and in everyday use it gives you confidence that the stopping power is there when you need it. Styling is of course the headline reason many people will look at the GS400 Neo Retro, and Suzuki has done a fine job of walking the tightrope between authenticity and modern taste. The round LED headlamp with its chrome rim harks back to classic designs, yet the light itself is bright, white, and efficient. The tank is beautifully shaped, with subtle graphics that recall Suzuki's racing stripes of the 70s and 80s without looking like a costume. Side panels are simple and tasteful. The seat is a flat bench with quality stitching that not only looks the part but also accommodates a passenger without fuss, and the exhaust is a neat, slightly upswept unit that delivers a throaty but civilized note. It's not loud or obnoxious, but it has just enough burble at idle and growl under acceleration to satisfy the rider's ears. Little touches like the analog speedometer paired with a small digital display give you retro style with modern convenience, so you get the nostalgia of a needle sweeping across the dial but also the practicality of a gear indicator, fuel gauge, and trip computer. Ergonomically, the bike feels accessible. The seat height is friendly, so riders of various builds will feel comfortable reaching the ground. The handlebars are wide and slightly raised, giving you an upright posture that reduces fatigue in traffic and offers good leverage when cornering. The foot pegs are positioned mid-set, neither too far forward nor too rearward, which means comfort over distance and a natural stance when leaning through turns. Passenger accommodations are reasonable for short to medium rides, with a decent perch and grab rails. Suzuki has clearly thought about this as a bike that can do more than just short urban commutes. It has the ergonomics for a day trip out of town or a weekend ride into the hills. Performance-wise, you're looking at a bike that produces respectable acceleration without being intimidating. 0 to 60 happens briskly enough to put a grin on your face, and while the top speed isn't headline-grabbing, it's more than sufficient for any legal highway and even some spirited backroad sprints. More importantly, the way it delivers power is smooth and predictable, which makes it ideal not only for seasoned riders who want a relaxed second bike but also for newer riders who are stepping up from smaller displacements. Fuel economy is another strong point. With modern injection and efficient engine tuning, you can expect mileage in the ballpark of 20 to 25 kilometers per liter depending on how you ride. Combine that with a fuel tank capacity of around 15 liters and you're looking at a real-world range north of 300 kilometers, which is excellent for commuting and weekend adventures alike. Now let's talk money, because value is where Suzuki usually makes its strongest case. The expected global price for the 2025 GS400 Neo Retro is around $6,000 to $7,000, with some markets seeing it closer to $6,200. Of course, local taxes, duties, and dealer markups will affect the final number, but in its segment it lands as a highly competitive option. Consider that many retro-inspired machines from European brands can easily cost significantly more, and suddenly the Suzuki stands out as a way to get genuine style and modern reliability without breaking the bank. Cost of ownership is also an advantage here. Suzuki has a solid global dealer network, parts availability is generally good, and routine maintenance like oil changes, filters, and tire replacements are affordable compared to some premium rivals. Insurance, too, should be manageable given the displacement and performance class. Every bike has its strengths and weaknesses, and it's worth being honest about them. On the plus side, the GS400 Neo Retro has undeniable style that appeals both to older riders who remember the original GS models and younger riders who just appreciate a classic silhouette. It's easy to ride, comfortable, reliable, and affordable. The build quality looks solid, the paint and finish options are tasteful, and the overall impression is of a bike that will age gracefully rather than looking dated in a couple of years. On the downside, if you're looking for cutting-edge electronics like multiple ride modes, advanced traction control, or TFT screens with smartphone connectivity, this is not that bike. It keeps things simple, which some will love and others may find lacking. At around 180 to 190 kilograms wet, it's not the lightest in class, so in very tight urban maneuvers you might notice the weight. And while it's quick enough, thrill seekers chasing top-end rushes or high horsepower numbers will probably want to look elsewhere. So who is the GS400 Neo Retro really for? It's for the rider who wants a machine with personality, one that makes you glance back at it when you park it. It's for the commuter who wants reliability Monday to Friday but also craves something with a soul for Saturday and Sunday. It's for the new rider who's grown tired of purely utilitarian machines and is ready for something stylish yet manageable. And it's for the seasoned enthusiast who maybe has a sport bike or an adventure bike already but wants a charming second ride that doesn't demand too much yet delivers a lot of joy per kilometer. In the end, the 2025 Suzuki GS400 Neo Retro feels like a success. It manages to capture the essence of what made the old GS series so beloved while updating everything that needed to be modernized. It looks good, it rides well, it's priced fairly, and it stands out in traffic without shouting. It's not perfect, but perfection isn't what retro-inspired bikes are about. They're about feel, about connection, about that special something that makes you want to get out and ride. And on those counts, Suzuki seems to have nailed it. If you're in the market for a bike that blends heritage with everyday practicality, the GS400 Neo Retro is absolutely worth a test ride. Thanks for watching Ridezone Bikes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments whether you'd pick the Suzuki over its rivals from Yamaha, Honda, or Triumph. Until next time, ride safe and enjoy the journey.